Let's go into this. I've been talking about, I guess we started this conversation with Hayes on Friday when he was on. And it was based upon a White House presser where the admiral who has been appointed in charge of the supply chain, sourcing and distributing personal protection equipment, other needed supplies to deal with the health crisis, basically revealed that what the federal government was doing was expending tax dollars, sourcing material in places like China and around the world, flying it back to America, and then instead of distributing it to hospitals or states for them to distribute to hospitals or municipalities for them to distribute it to hospitals, they essentially either gave it or sold it at cost to a half a dozen medical supply distribution companies that, yes, have maybe the apparatus to get it to the hospitals, although you could have just brought these to the states who have been working on this. In New York State, as you know, all the hospitals now have been basically put under one administrative umbrella. The state is now coordinating supply lines, where staff goes. It's as if it's one big state-run hospital system in New York now, because that's the most efficient way to do it. And I suppose you could make an argument that these medical distributors, they already have these relationships and they know how to get it out the door, but they weren't selling it at a fair market value. They weren't capped on what they could charge for this. They basically started an auction process, which not only meant that you had states that didn't have the resources were getting outbid, but sometimes all the states were getting outbid and it was going back overseas. This is the type of stuff, honestly, that when this is over, and I don't even mean entirely over, but when the narrow crisis that we're facing right now, this surge is over, this is the type of stuff that I want to see people in court. I want to see hearings, and then I want to see people in court, criminal court. Here is J.B. Pritzker. He's the governor of Illinois, confirming all of this from the buyer perspective of a state. Clip number 3.
Because what the White House has done is created, they call this the air bridge, where they're bringing stuff back from China to the United States, and then they're delivering it to private companies in the United States, not to the states. And they're letting all of us bid against each other for those goods that are owned by the private companies. So we've just gone around all that and gone directly to manufacturers wherever we could.
This is appalling. This is appalling. When we talk to Mike Consul, he'll have more to say about sort of like how our system of our government and basically where we're starting, does not allow for providing relief in dealing with the oncoming economic catastrophe we could be looking at. But this is an ideological problem. This is an ideological problem. There was absolutely no need for this. In fact, we played a clip of the General Honore, the guy who was in charge of this during Katrina, and he said he's never heard of anything like this. We've never done it this way. It's absurd. And it really is criminal, because just that process itself delayed everything. There's no reason. My understanding, too, is that when the Patriots sent their plane over to China to buy a bunch of N95 masks, to bring it back from Massachusetts, it was confiscated by the federal government and then presumably given to a private enterprise to then auction it off. This is just nuts. It's nuts. It's enraging. And we need to see more, frankly, from the opposition party in dealing with this. It's completely nuts. We will talk more about this as the program goes on. Hopefully I won't lose it.